Fazendo vergonha pro teu marido. Fazendo vergonha pro teu marido. Se bater, me dá outra vez. Se bater outra vez. Você não tem vergonha na cara. Então. Piranha safada.
The tongue is the most powerful.
This shit is stupid, yo. I can't believe I'm sitting here just finding out you got an OnlyFans page. Out of all these years, yo, the disrespect that comes with it, that you couldn't even talk to me before you did it, that's bullshit, yo. That's fucked up, Hughes. I'm telling you, yo, that's fucked up.
Wait, no. Calm, but you're not gonna say fuck me or that's fucked up. It's not fucked up.
You recording me? What the fuck you doing?
Listen, it's not fucked up, and we're going to. Okay, look, so.
That shit crazy. Shit be all crazy. Beyond me. That we gotta view. I don't know who's commenting or whatever. Whoever it is, stay watching because this right here is some crazy. You used to find your wife's OnlyFans when you be in the same position as this right here. Because I find that somewhat disrespectful. But more than that, there's the insecurities of the men that you up to. That's what I want to do. If I found a woman like say some true facts, just get back into.
So I have an OnlyFans page, and he's mad because he's just now finding out about it.
Of course I'm mad I'm just finding out about it.
I'm not doing it with anybody but myself, so why should I have to tell you my choice, my body, my fucking choice?
Your partner, you're supposed to come to me and talk to
Joe,
me.
I've been talking to you about mad things. I've been asking for solutions to shit. You're not giving me none, so I created one.
That's no solution. Not in my book. That's no solution.
You knew who the fuck I was when you met me.
Before,
I knew that. Thought that I would never have to go back to anything like this again. But unfortunately, that's not the case right now.
After that, everything's supposed to change.
Everything did change.
No. Obviously, it hasn't.
No, it had to. I had to do something.
Hasn't. You stood out there showing your body. You stood out there doing stuff like this on camera.
You act like that's the only thing that I do. I have mad jobs, but they're not facilitating everything that needs to be done. So I got something extra. OnlyFans be breaking me off. What the fuck?
Come on, Keisha. It don't matter what they breaking you off. It's the disrespect that comes with it.
What disrespect?
You couldn't come and talk to me about it.
Okay, well, we're talking about it now.
Because I had to find out on the fly.
All right, then. But now, okay.
No,
so wait.
I had to find out on the fly.
I have bad jobs, but they're not. So now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
Okay. And so,
But that's facts.
whatever. I've been doing what I have to do, period. Like, that's bottom line. That's what it is.
Now we not watching this one. Let's find something else interesting for the top. The top. Okay, what's your opinion about this? Comment below, because this right here is a messed up situation. Look at this. Look, y'all see this shit? He just right here had make it. Look, this right here is right beyond crazy. It's beyond crazy, man. We gonna get back to it though. Just knocked out and ran off. It's fucked up.
She went hurt. She but like somebody probably set the cone for or something. I don't know. She just come out of the woods at my house.
That's the worst one I've seen. I couldn't believe she was still conscious and alert with the amount of burns she had. What did she do that was so awful that she would die the torturous death like that? That's what we want to know.
I have nothing to do with nothing. That's my friend. That's my friend. I would never hurt her.
On March 24th, 2010, a man named Terrence sat outside his home in Pensacola, Florida, enjoying the fresh night air. By all accounts, it was a perfect spring night. That is, until a faint voice rang out from the forest surrounding his home. At first, Terrence couldn't make out what the voice was saying, and then it came again, a panicked and pained moan. It was a woman calling out for help. Terrence couldn't have had the slightest idea of the gruesome crime that had just been committed against this woman, a crime so brutal that you may have trouble believing it.
In reference to the call, we're on scene and fire saying that the patient, she's got second-degree burns over 100% of her body, but she's saying that there was no vehicle involved, that people dragged her out of her house and set her on fire.
At first, through the forest, shrouded in shadows, Terrence couldn't make out the woman calling for help. Moments later, when he finally could, he was horrified. A 19-year-old woman, Adriana Zimmerman, slowly stumbled toward him out of the darkness. Burns coated every inch of her skin, so severe that he couldn't make out the color of her skin or whether she was wearing any clothes at all. Terrence called 911 while Adriana sought refuge on his porch.
911. What's going on out there? Say somebody outside burn up. Her this lady on fire right now. She what? She burn all up. You gotta. She went hurt. She burnt. Somebody probably set the cone for or something. I don't know. She just come out of the woods at my house.
As they waited for EMS to arrive, Terrence noted that Adriana smelled heavily of gasoline, and there was a severe injury on her head in addition to the burns. Whatever she had endured had left her barely clinging to life. By 9:24 p.m., an EMT arrived at the scene to find Adriana sitting on the porch with her arms outstretched, rocking back and forth to soothe her pain. The extent of her burns meant that the EMT on the scene couldn't offer her much medical assistance. Even for a seasoned EMT, the sight was deeply disturbing.
She was kind of moaning. She was just in a sitting position, and the way she was looking was it hurt to move anywhere. So she was kind of in whatever position she was the most comfortable. It was in a sitting with her arms stuck straight out. She was moaning, and it was hard to understand her due to her jaw. Her jaw was very deformed and stuck out. So she kept, mumbling, help me. And I told her, I'll try to help you. You just got to stay there and try not to move for me. Really, with a burn victim like that, there's nothing much we can do until EMS gets there.
And your training experience when you saw her, what was your first thought?
That's the worst one I've seen. I couldn't believe she was still conscious and alert with the amount of burns she had.
Did you feel her condition was grave?
Yes, sir.
Just from your experience and seeing what you've seen?
Yes, sir. Just from seeing that, plus the head trauma, the amount of head trauma she had to her face, I would not have expected her to make it through the night. She kept telling me I'm about to pass out. I'm about to pass out. So I told her to try to stay awake for me, and I wanted to get the info of the suspects before she passed out.
Fearing that she would never wake up if she passed out, the EMT dug for all the information that he could about what happened to her. She managed to tell him that she'd been taken from her house, tased, beaten with a crowbar, and then set on fire. En route to the hospital, the paramedic supervisor tended to Adriana's wounds as much as they were able to. In their interview with the police, they disclosed heart-wrenching details of the ride to the hospital.
I told her, keep fighting. And she kept saying over and over again, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? And I told her I was going to try. And she said, just tell me I'm going to wake up and see my babies. I got to talking to her, and I told her that I was probably going to be the last person she talked to for a while, and that in order to catch the people that did this to her, I needed her to tell me if she knew who it was. And I asked her why they did it to her, and she said, I thought we'd made up.
Without being able to give more details about the horror she had endured, Adriana was given morphine for her pain and fell into a coma. Investigators were desperate to find the perpetrators behind such a heinous crime. It wasn't long before they inferred that wading through all the convolution and getting to the heart of the horrific incident was going to be anything but clear-cut. This is Cypress Trail Mobile Home Park, where 19-year-old Adriana had only lived for a few months before the horrific incident took place. Adriana moved to Florida with her children from her hometown of Lubbock, Texas. Her family, who lovingly nicknamed her Augie, missed her from the moment she left for the Sunshine State. She was a loving, dedicated...
What y'all think about it here? What y'all think? Some Mexican Twitch. What's good? So I was watching on Twitch. What's your opinion?
Dedicated mother to her two children, and her final words before she fell into a coma confirmed this. En route to the hospital, barely clinging to life, she repeatedly asked the medical professionals to take care of her children and check on them since they were home alone. Mere hours after Adriana was taken to the hospital, law enforcement arrived at the trailer park. They knocked on Tina Brown's door at lot number 3 of the trailer park, where she lived with her 16-year-old daughter, Brittany Miller. Then they knocked repeatedly at lot number 1, where Heather Lee resided with her husband, Darren Lee. For nearly an hour, no one responded, until finally, after incessant knocking, Heather answered. She, Darren, and Tina had been holed up inside her home the entire time. By then, the police had plenty of questions for them. Throughout the interrogations you're about to see, Law enforcement is forced to wade through a sea of contradictions and lies created by suspects who were seemingly racing each other to dry land. That race to escape began the moment Heather Lee was put in a cop car to be brought back to the station for questioning. The following footage has been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed professional counselor and a licensed attorney.
It's cold in here. All right, what's that one?
She says she's cold back here.
Can you tell me what's going on?
Huh?
Can you tell me what's going on?
Just hang tight, okay, dear?
Okay.
After setting Heather in the car, the police leave her alone for another 20 minutes. She fidgets anxiously in the back seat.
What's your full name?
Heather.
H-E-A-T?
H-E-R.
You work anywhere?
No, sir, not.
Several witnesses and neighbors interviewed allege that many people in the trailer park sold illegal substances or allegedly worked as escorts, including Tina, Heather, Adriana, and their partners. In the 4 months leading up to the battery of Adriana, cops had visited the trailer park 25 times. But this time would prove to be the most ghastly, heartbreaking visit of all.
What is going on?
Okay. Well, first of all, we're investigating a battery here with your neighbor there behind you.
Adriana?
I guess. The lady lives behind you. Listen to me now.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay. I just seen Adriana earlier today.
My name is Investigator Watts. I'm with the Sheriff's Office, and we were called out here on an aggravated some type of disturbance tonight, okay, where your neighbor was critically injured, and you have been implicated, maybe having some knowledge or information, or even being involved. Okay. I have to ask you some questions, but before I ask you any questions, I'm going to have to advise you your rights, okay?
The detective reads Heather her Miranda rights. She accepts them rather calmly, but her calmness and patience will start to wane as the police begin to really question her.
First of all, tell me, do you know the situation we're talking about here?
No, sir. That's why I keep asking you what's going on.
Okay. Where have you been all afternoon? What have you been doing?
I've been here at the house. I was cooking. I see Adriana earlier today.
Who?
Adriana, my neighbor. She was down this way by my aunt's house talking with us earlier. And then I had one back in the house. I cooked and I laid down after that.
Okay, is anybody in the house with you?
Nobody with my husband. He was in there asleep.
That's your husband?
In bed, yes.
Y'all, is just two of y'all live there?
Yeah. My kids are with my mom.
Okay, this girl was taken from her house and beaten up. Okay?
Okay. I seen her earlier today. She told me that she had a date. That's all she told me. And I asked her who it was. She was riding the bike up and down Detroit. And I asked her when she went that way, I said, where do you keep going when you go that way? She kept saying Fowler. But she would never tell me where on Fowler. And then she said, girl, I got a hot date tonight.
It's interesting that Heather immediately provides information to deflect the interest away from herself and toward the supposed hot date.
Do you know the lady lives in lot 3 back there?
Tina, yes, I know Tina. All of us know each other out here. I met her when she first moved out.
Okay, how long has she been here?
I'm not quite sure. It's been a couple months, so she ain't been living out here no longer than a year.
Okay, where did you go tonight before we got here?
Tonight?
Tonight? Yeah.
I didn't go anywhere.
So you've been in your house?
I've been here and down by Tina's house and by my aunt's house and back here. I was here cooking. My other aunt, my mom's sister, came around here, her and the kids. And I was in there cooking fish and fries. And it's still on the stove.
Heather telling the officer that the fish is still on the stove is an attempt to prove that she's being truthful. In reality, her desperation to provide evidence of her activities only makes her look more suspicious.
Yeah.
People who are innocent often don't feel such a stark need to
Because
back
I'm
their
normally
story
out
up.
cold at night.
In just a moment, you'll see her try to validate her whereabouts
Having
even
nowhere to go
more
and that
by
shit
listing
like that.
people who can provide her with an alibi. Take note of just how many times she does
Yeah.
this.
I want to sit here and believe what you're saying, but we're getting information. You know what's going on here. You and Tina
I don't know anything about what's going on here. Like I said, I was here at the house.
Oh
My
yes.
mom called me on my
In the
cell
name
phone.
of
I talked to my
Jesus.
mom. My aunt came here, her
Me too,
kids,
man.
my two cousins was in the car with her. My aunt down in the fourth trailer, she seen me today. My Uncle Charles
So
seen me
you're
today.
sitting here and telling me that you and Tina, y'all didn't have a problem with this girl back
Hey,
there?
bro.
I didn't have no problem with Adriana.
Y'all
I've been
ain't-
hanging out with Adriana every day.
I don't know if you're from around here or not, but there is a shelter right down the road.
Huh.
And then the other thing is, I'm not trying to imply
Yeah.
anything here. It's just I've been homeless before.
Yeah.
You struggle with drugs or alcohol?
Okay, I would say I work at a rehab. That's why if you did, I was gonna be like, let me make a phone call and I'll get you in. Okay. But yeah, right down the road, there's kind of a tan brick building if you head down that way. And yeah, it would be like, it's about 2.5 blocks. They only have like 15 beds there. But you'll see like a machine shop on your left. There will be a little side road, and it'll be the first building after that. And you can literally just show up there, and if there's beds available, you can at least get a bed for tonight. And sometimes people stay there for multiple nights, stuff like that. I can't remember the actual address, but it's literally like a 10-minute walk down the road that way. And then I don't know where the Salvation Army is around here. On the other side too.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I know that we've sent guys locally that have completed our program that didn't know where to go. I know they have beds there too, but I don't know how to get into that. I didn't mean to bother you. I just, like, I've been in your spot before, and I just wanted to give you some resources that I knew off the top of my head.
Right.
Good luck, brother.
Yep.
What did I do? I'm so sorry about that. I was watching did I? Nope. Don't remember that at all. Did you get my candy? Hi.
Sorry, y'all. Let's get back to the podcast.
Hey, all of us been hanging out together.
You and Tina didn't jump on her?
No, I didn't do nothing to Adriana. I would not harm a hair on her head.
Heather's protesting that she couldn't have been involved because she would never heard any part of Adriana is known as a convincing statement. This type of statement is often a sign of deception, as a truthful person's first instinct would likely be to outright deny an allegation, rather than try to convince the person posing the question of something.
I had to protect her once before.
From who?
Because her and some girls was getting into it, and I stopped them from jumping on. Other than that, I haven't had any problems with her. Her kids, I always have her kids with me. And Adriana is just like that. Ever since she moved out here, we became friends.
Here, Heather's palm seems to be facing up as she's speaking. The palm-up position is not very affirmative, and it suggests that the speaker is asking or pleading to be believed. This may indicate that she's feeling uncertain about the statement she just made.
And the kids, I love the kids. They went with me to get my hair done and everything. I seen her this morning, and then I seen her about 2 and about 3.
Where'd you see her at?
I seen her down this way by my aunt's house. She was right down there. Yeah, she was right down there.
That's when you were down there when you saw her?
Yeah.
Those three?
And she came with the
So you're saying you saw her 3 different times today?
Yes, I seen her
and
today.
She was down there.
She was down there. She was talking to me.
Is that all you know about this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I put that on everything
and
I know.
you swear that this statement you gave me is the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Sir. Yes, sir. Adriana is my friend.
Eugene, you got anything? No, sir. All right.
The police conclude their interview, but what Heather requests next is very telling and makes her look even more suspicious.
I want to see her.
See who?
Adriana.
Well, that's not going to be possible right now. Guys, where you found her? Would you tell me if you knew what happened?
Yes, sir, I would. That's my friend.
Okay. All right, we'll be back with you in just a second, okay?
Once more, Heather is left in the car. She shifts uncomfortably and sniffles, wiping her tears until it seems she cannot take the anxiety brewing inside of her any longer. While to some, her next actions may seem to be those of a desperate friend, to others, they likely appear to be those of a suspect trying to feign concern.
Baby! I wanted to know what's going on. Huh? I wanted to know what's going on.
Didn't the investigators tell you already?
Yeah, they told me that, but...
Okay, well, I can't tell you any more than what they told you, sweetheart.
All right, they didn't tell me I was under arrested or...
No, you're not under arrest.
Okay. Now, how can I find out where can I go see her at?
You just got to wait, okay?
And then when they all get done, I can find out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Your husband will come in here. He wants to talk to you.
Okay.
Meet Darren Lee, Heather's husband. He's no stranger to run-ins with law enforcement, having been convicted of 2 prior felonies in 2001, including battery and sale of a controlled substance. As soon as he's put in the car, it seems that the couple begins retracing their steps in a discreet way to ensure her and Darren's stories are aligned once they're separated for questioning. This early in the investigation, we can only speculate as to the reason behind Heather and Darren having been placed in the vehicle together. It's possible that law enforcement just needs to secure them for the time being. However, it's also a possibility that officers are intent on capturing what the two might inadvertently disclose as the camera is running.
That's it? What you did then? That's what they told me.
They say, oh, real thing, go ahead and have a question or something.
What?
Go ahead and have a question. I told them before that, blocking Brown came by, they some fish with them. Told them that y'all ain't leave. But he said that you told them you sleep.
I told her that I was just in her sleep.
448, copy good.
I told him you fish like the movie.
Go ahead, 448. 17,
Yeah, and I was right there on the couch.
Man.
The blocking ground came by.
Yeah, man. That's bullshit, man. That's why I'm not doing it. If you're going to team that's where enough question. Yeah, I let you tell this shit. You don't have to question.
I ain't got no problem with going. Like I told him. I seen Adriana earlier today.
They talk about the gas can and everything else.
What gas can?
Gas can from the on 4.
The gas. Now gas cans being on the porch. I don't even know who gas cans is.
I told them Jazz.
I don't know who gas cans those is.
Heather's reaction to Darren mentioning the police taking gas cans off their porch is rather frantic and over the top.
Now gas cans being on the porch. I don't even know who gas cans those is.
Especially considering the fact that at this time, officers had not even disclosed that Adriana was burned.
I ain't know what the hell was going on. They told me I just seen her today. And now they saying she in intensive care. I seen her before that door. All right, man. She asked me for that next day.
I'm gonna give you about a minute more, say your things, and we fixing to go. I need to talk to you real quick. All right? I'll give you about a minute more. Say goodbye.
Hey, I'm on arrest.
You are not free to go at this time, so you can consider whatever you want to consider. You're not free to go right now.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
I think I can hold you 48 hours or something. I don't know. You are
48 hours.
I think you're detained at this time. How about that? So we get a chance to talk to you. Okay? They just want to talk to you.
Oh.
The two are being detained as the officer has reasonable suspicion that there is criminal activity afoot, or evidence of criminal activity to be found through the temporary detention and questioning of the individuals. A detention is different than an arrest, which requires that the officer has probable cause to believe a crime has in fact been committed, was in the process of commission, or was about to be committed. The standard for probable cause is higher than that of reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion must be based on specific and articulable facts, combined with rational inferences from those facts, and the suspicion must be associated with a specific individual or individuals being detained.
Well, I'm kind of trying to get me involved in whatever happened with them. Oh, man, I don't know, man. I ain't seen that damn thing.
Get my phone and call Jean.
The Jean that Heather is referring to is an attorney who she will be asking for rather frantically soon. After this, Heather, Tina, and Darren were brought to the station for further questioning. However, there was still one person missing whom cops desperately wanted to speak with, 16-year-old Brittany Miller, Tina's daughter. Tina told police that earlier Brittany had left for the hospital with her friends, Jessica and Mallory, in Tina's maroon SUV. Brittany had hurt her hand, though Tina told investigators that she didn't know how. Investigators searched the area for Brittany and the SUV, but their initial searches proved fruitless. Brittany's name, car make, and model, and her physical description were broadcast to all patrol units in a desperate attempt to find her. Without Brittany in custody, back at the station, the thorough questioning of Tina, Heather, and Darren began. On top of their stories contrasting with one another, even their demeanors in the interrogation rooms were wildly different. You have Heather, who is clearly distressed.
Officer!
Yes, ma'am.
Just give me a nurse or something.
What?
I don't feel good.
I wouldn't be feeling good either.
I'm having an anxiety attack. I have anxiety attacks.
I've already called. They're supposed to be coming back to you. Okay? That's all I can do right this moment.
Okay.
Sit up there in that chair up there and set your head down on that desk. Just breathe right. Okay?
Okay.
Heather's anxiety is tangible in the 30 minutes she's left alone in the interrogation room. And as you'll see shortly when her interrogation continues, she has every reason to be anxious. Her husband, on the other hand, didn't seem entirely concerned when he was interrogated, even casually chatting with someone on the phone beforehand.
I'm chilling, man. I'm copacetic right now.
In use.
Oh, yeah.
All right, dude.
I was really trying to do, but I'm kind of get off.
You ready, man?
477. Yeah. Come for real. I'm calling you right back, man.
Who is it?
My bad. I don't know, man. He couldn't take my phone.
You done?
Yeah.
All right. And then there's Tina, sitting emotionless in the interrogation room while she waits for police to enter and question her.
Did you grab a form? Oh. How you doing? I'm investigator Lisa Irene. This is investigator Tom Watts.
After this, the police remind everyone of their rights now that they are officially in the interrogation rooms. An important thing to note is that Tina was the first to be interrogated, followed by Heather. Take a look at how their stories compare. Even their initial retellings of why they didn't answer the door don't align.
I've been talking to you for a few minutes. I was kind of trying to find out why you weren't answering the door when we came to your house this evening. You explained that you saw the cops and that you were nervous about that. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we were just watching movies.
Okay, so you, Darren, and Tina were sitting in the living room. Heather were sitting there in the living room watching movies. And when the cops knocked on the door, what y'all do?
We were sitting there.
Okay. Why didn't you answer the door?
It ain't my door.
Okay. Did they do anything special when the cops knocked on the door? Turn out the lights, turn off
The lights
TV?
were already off because we were being nosy. Looking out the window, seeing what's going on next door.
Okay, so you saw the cops next door 1st. Were the lights on before the cops came over next door?
Yeah.
And then y'all turned them off when they came over next
door? Yeah, see better with the lights off. You don't see
Okay.
nobody looking back at you.
Tina haven't been at my house all night.
Okay, so you sitting there in the living room watching movies. Tina hasn't been at your house?
She haven't been at my house all night.
Where she?
She came in. She came and knocked on the door, and I got up. She said the police was out there, and I just laid there.
Well,
Did she come
I was on the couch. I just laid there because I was asleep.
Did she ever come in the house after she told you the police was there?
She came in the house, and she said,
In your house?
yeah, she sat on my couch.
And what did
And
she?
I asked her what was going on. She told me she didn't know.
I'm confused here because Darren told me that you and Tina were there and cooking all night.
Tina was there when I was cooking earlier.
Okay.
But she wasn't out there all night.
Where'd she go?
She had left. She told me she was going home.
Okay. About what time was that?
It was, what time I was cooking? It was getting dark when I was cooking. And I stopped cooking about 6 or 7.
So Tina looked around 6 or 7?
Yeah, she left.
Okay. And when did she come back over to your house?
She came back probably like 30 minutes to an hour later.
So she was gone for 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And she comes back and the cops show up at the same time?
She came in, she said the cops outside.
Did you see the cops outside that time?
I got up and I looked and I seen the lights. You could see the spotlights. I see the spotlights.
And where are they at?
They was outside.
Are they outside?
They was outside the Tina's house.
They were outside Tina's house?
They was outside the Tina's house.
Were they outside of Adriana's house at all, or no?
When I had came out, they was outside Adriana's house.
Okay, that's
when they knocked on the door
when
and
you
I
answered
came.
the door.
Yeah, when I answered.
You didn't answer the door for like an hour.
They didn't knock on my door.
Oh yeah, they beat on that door.
And I don't like one. They did because I was laying right there on the couch. And I didn't hear no locks.
Even your husband said they beat on the door and you won't answer the door. And then Tina said they beat on the door and y'all didn't answer the door.
It seems Heather is faced in what is known as the prisoner's dilemma. This occurs when 2 or more individuals who are involved in a crime are isolated from one another and urged to confess to the crime. Each is concerned only with receiving the shortest possible what decision the other or others will make.
Tina said, hold on, don't answer the door. And I asked her why.
Okay. We're getting a big diversity in this story.
And I'm gonna tell you like it is. Adriana is my friend. I would never hurt her. Tina came to my house and she told me not to answer my door. I asked why. She said, "'Cause the cops is out there."
Heather's emphasis points are extremely off here when she states she's my friend, then hits the table, followed by I would never hurt her, and strikes the table again. You can actually see and hear how her nonverbal emphasis does not naturally line up with her words as it should. This is widely recognized as an indicator of deception.
And then she asked me, she said, "Where are the cops at?" I said, "They down there by your house. Why you keep asking me where the cops at?" And she would never say. She started back nervous. She was acting nervous. She started back puffing on a cigarette.
Did she look like she was been running, or did she look like she'd been in a fight?
She was acting normal.
Notice that Heather's palm is up here, which may be an indication once again that she's unsure of the story she's telling and asking to be believed.
Let me ask you a question.
She was acting normal.
You said when we asked.
And I asked, I said, "Tina, I said, you seen Adriana tonight?" She said, "No, I haven't seen it tonight."
And she didn't tell you why she didn't want you to answer the door.
She didn't say anything about why not to answer.
But she did tell you not to answer the door.
And I told her, I said, "I don't have anything to hide. I'm gonna open my door." And then I got up and I said, "Who is it?" And they said, "The sheriff's department." And I opened the door.
What was Darren doing?
He was laying at the bottom of the couch watching TV.
And you're absolutely sure of this?
Yes, sir. I am sure.
Because this story's a lot different than Tina's story.
I am sure.
As the investigator has pointed out, Heather's story is wildly different from her husband's.
Okay, so you were sleeping until about 7, so you don't know anything prior to that? No. Okay. And your wife tells me this.
Those ones have tranny problems, so I hope it doesn't. Zach has had his Chevy Cruze for how many years? How many years has he worked here?
Cars, it runs. I'm not saying it doesn't run good. They're good cars.
why right here you need to hide your guns. Seriously.
And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Turn me to a... We can't. There's literally enough time to go there and back. Well, where are we going to meet? We're going to meet friends, like idiot. I know. Why? Oh, we work at Jimmy too. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.